In this course we have 2 examinations, and you can read more about them under About the Examinations or in the study guide. But in this video I want to be a little bit more hands-on and show you how you can upload one of your solutions to examination 1. And the first thing we need to do is go to Assignments. And if your page looks like this with just a long list of things, I would recommend to change it to Show by Type here in the upper right hand corner. Now it's much easier to see what problems belong to examination 1 and what problems belong to each part of examination 1. And I want to use the very first one here, the first problem, to show you how to upload your solution. And we can see in here that we have requirements and instructions, and then we have the task description. I just want to point out that this is an individual examination, so each student must come up with and write the code on his or her own. And then I also want to recommend to use Polya's problem solving technique, as it will prepare you for the reflection seminars, and it will also prepare you for examination 2 in the end of the course. But all right, let's imagine that I have tried to solve this task and now it's time to upload my solution. I do that by clicking the button in the very end of the page here, and that will open CodeGrade. And here I can choose to create a submission. So I will click on this one. And we can see here that it requires me to upload my script, and it must be named exactly like this. So I'll grab my script, I'll drag and drop it, and then I'll click submit. And then it starts to run all these tests on my script. And we can see here that we have functionality tests, and we also have code quality tests. And this is my very first attempt here. We can see that I didn't manage to pass any of the tests. And we're going to take a look at one of them in a second here, but I just want to point out that this is perfectly okay. You can upload as many times as you like before the deadline. So don't worry if you fail one or many of the tests the first time you upload. Just see it as a pointer to what you need to fix before the deadline. But all right, we can see that I managed to fail all the tests. So how do I figure out what I need to correct? Well, if we click this little chevron here on the left hand side, we get more information about the test. And we can see the expected output and what our script outputted. And in many cases, there will be more text that our script outputted, and that is perfectly fine. The only thing we need to look at here is what it's looking for. So in this test, it is only trying to match the receipt. So all right, the receipt must look exactly like this. And if we take a look at our receipt down here, we can see that it does not match exactly. And it is very picky. It must match exactly. So we can see here, for example, I have a longer line here, and the line should only be on the right hand side here. There is also a missing space before the colon here. So as I said, it is very picky, and that is by design. I want you to show me that you can format the output according to some given format. And I also want you to be very thorough when you solve the tasks. So this is by design. Just make sure that you look at what it expects and what you output and match them exactly. And personally, I prefer looking at it this way, but in some cases, it might be easier to look under the Differences tab, because in here is another way of finding out what the differences are, and in some cases it's easier to see in here as it's highlighted some of the text in green or red. We can also look under the Input tab to see exactly what was inputted when the script was run. But alright, we have figured out that we have some problem here with the formatting. But before we try to upload again, I also want to point out the code quality test. So to pass one of these tasks, you must pass all the tests. So it means that you must pass all these functionality tests, but you must also pass the code quality test. So you have to have green check marks everywhere to pass a problem here, or so that your solution passes and you are awarded the points for it. As soon as you don't pass one of these ones here and you don't have a green check mark, you will not be awarded the points for this task. So it's very important that you get green check marks everywhere. But now back to code quality. This step here makes sure that we write our code, our Python code, as it should be written. There is a style guide called PEP8 and we should follow that. And if we click the chevron here, we can see what problems we have in our code. And it tells us that in some of the lines, in this case here, we have some trailing white spaces in the end of the line that we have to remove. And something to point out here too is that these things we must fix on or in our script and then upload again. So we cannot do it here directly. So we fix it locally and then we upload again. But now let's imagine that I have fixed these things and I have also tried to fix the formatting problem that I had here. Then it's time for me to upload again. So imagine that I have been working on that, and now if I just reload this page here, so I get this button back down here, then I can upload again. I can take a look at my last submission if I like, but right now I want to try again. I've been working on my script and I want to try again. So I create a new submission, I add my modified script and I submit it, and let's see how it goes this time. And as we can see, after having changed my script, I managed to pass all the tests. And this is how it should look when your solution is finished. You should have these green check marks everywhere. And as soon as you have them, you have all green check marks. That means that you will be awarded the points for solving this task. Good luck solving the tasks, and don't hesitate to contact me or the teaching assistants if you have any questions.